If you're thinking of buying a budget tablet in 2025, stop right there. The Redmi Pad 2 and the Lenovo Idea Tab are the hottest contenders right now, but only one is worth your money. And if you choose the wrong one, you might regret that for the next couple of years. So let's settle this once and for all. Don't miss this video as I'll be giving them points in each category like display, performance and stylus experience in order to help you make your purchase decision. My name is Prithviraj and I create videos on productivity, tech and life. Before we talk about the good stuff and also compare their pricing, let's start with the basics, which is the design of the two tablets. Well, being very honest, if I just had to choose one of the two tablets based on the design alone, then I would go for the Lenovo Idea Tab. It looks much more premium in comparison to the Redmi Pad 2, but the in-hand feel of both of them is very plasticky. Hence, as per that, both of them will more or less feel the same. We get a micro SD card slot as well as a headphone jack on both the tablets, so you would be covered in that aspect. And also, none of them feature a fingerprint scanner. We do have face unlock to cover that up. One addition that we get with the Lenovo Idea Tab is that on the left-hand side, we get the magnetic pins for connecting accessories like a keyboard or those keyboard folio cases. So that's always convenient for future proofing. In case you needed SIM card support, we have a cellular variant for both the tablets, but the pricing is a bit different for that. We will talk about that in the end. All in all, for the design segment, both of them have a very practical design and it very much comes down to your personal taste. But Lenovo slightly does it better with the inclusion of the magnetic pins, and it's more premium looking than that of the Redmi Pad 2. So for the design segment, it is actually a draw, but I would like to give a point to the Lenovo Idea Tab for the magnetic pins, as it opens up much more possibility in case you wanted to upgrade and get more stuff done on your tablet. Before we talk about the performance and the stylus experience, let us discuss the most important aspect of any tablet, and that is their display. Both tablets nail the basics on paper. They both feature an 11-inch LCD display with a 16:10 aspect ratio. And the best part is that they both have a display refresh rate of 90 Hz, so scrolling would feel much more smoother than the usual 60 Hz budget panels. Also, they have the exact same resolution, 2560 by 1600 pixels, functionally the same sharpness in daily use. They are pretty evenly matched, as you can see. Where they start to separate is in terms of the brightness. The Redmi Pad 2 is rated up to 600 nits, while the Lenovo Idea Tab is rated at 500 nits. Both of them feature similar display. The text will be sharp and the colors are vibrant. But if you are choosing on pure display numbers, that extra headroom goes in Redmi's favor. For reading long documents and browsing, both benefit from the 16:10 canvas, and on the media side, both will excel for binge watching your favorite shows on Netflix and also my videos on YouTube. But for the display segment, the Redmi Pad 2 takes 1 point away from the Lenovo by tiny margins. And you won't have a great time binge watching your favorite content without great audio, right? Let's talk about that, as that one is a bit tricky. We have a headphone jack in both of them, so that's a great addition. But in terms of loudness, the Lenovo Idea Tab is louder in comparison. Audio quality wise, the Redmi Pad 2 excels more. Both of them lack the warmth I often look for in the audio, but the mid frequencies in Lenovo sound very muffled, and also it lacks that punch in the low frequencies. If you want loudness only, go for the Lenovo Tab. Else, if you want better audio quality, then go for Redmi Pad 2. I am more into quality, hence 1 point is added to the Redmi Pad 2 for the audio segment. Now, we are in the business end of the two tablets. Let's talk about the performance of the two tablets, as this is one aspect where both the tablets more or less starts to struggle. But before that, I'd really appreciate if you could consider hitting that subscribe button, and I promise to keep creating more such videos. Under the hood, the Redmi Pad 2 packs the MediaTek Helio G100 Ultra chipset, paired with 4, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, depending on which variant you get. Also, we have two storage variants for both 128 as well as 256 gigs. On the other hand, the Lenovo Idea Tab packs the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset, paired with 8 gigs of RAM, and it comes with 256 storage variant. Both of them have expandable storage support, so you will be covered in terms of that. Here are the benchmarks of the Redmi Pad 2 on Geekbench, and here are the benchmarks of the Lenovo Idea Tab. As you can see, they are pretty evenly matched. And being very honest, none of the tablets are killer in terms of performance. They both will just help you get your basics done right. Nothing fancy. In case you wanted to do some video editing on them, they both will start to lag and heat up, so won't really recommend it for that aspect. But in terms of raw performance, this has to be a tie. They are almost identical. And same goes for the gaming experience. I played titles like Asphalt, COD Mobile, BGMI and a few more. It runs just fine at medium settings, but you can notice significant frame drops if you increase the graphics settings. And with extended gaming sessions, both the tablets will heat up rather quickly. None of the two tablets are a gamer's paradise, but for casual gaming now and then, they both will just get the job done. So 1 point is added to both the tablets for the gaming aspect. But now things get interesting. In terms of software, I'm again not a fan of either of them. The Redmi Pad 2 runs on a skinned version of Android 15 called the HyperOS 2. The UI looks very similar to that of those iPads, whereas the Lenovo Idea Tab runs on a skinned version of Android 15 called the Lenovo ZUI. And this one has a more traditional Android UI with the app drawer, of course. And they both lag so much. Even with the most simplest things. Like, have a look. I was really struggling to get the screen orientation right on both the tablets. These tablets are so identical that they even have the same problems in terms of software lag. Like, really, you won't be getting the smoothest software experience on any of them. Trust me, when the UI lags, it is the most annoying thing that you can come across while using your tablet. That sucks. In terms of software updates, they both will receive 2 major Android upgrades followed by a few security patches. Again, this segment comes down as a draw. I actually don't want to give a point to any of them, but oh well. 1 point is added to both for the software segment. Speaking of the cameras, the Redmi Pad 2 features an 8 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel selfie camera. Again, the exact same thing with the Lenovo Idea Tab. It features an 8 megapixel rear and a 5 megapixel selfie camera. So this is the side-by-side camera comparison of both the tablets. This one is the Lenovo Idea Tab and this one is the Redmi Pad 2. So for now the sound was coming from the Redmi Pad 2. Now it's coming from the Lenovo Idea Tab. To be very honest, I'm not really a fan of the quality of either of the two. But if I just had to choose one, of course the Redmi one is better, as you can see. So 1 point is added to the Redmi Pad 2 for the camera segment. Battery life is equally important. The Redmi Pad 2 packs a 9000 mAh battery, whereas the Lenovo Idea Tab packs a 7040 mAh battery. Finally, we found an aspect where the spec sheet don't really match. That's a good thing or not, I don't know, but yeah. We get a charger out of the box with both the tablets, and their idle time battery management is surprisingly good. I got a screen on time of about 9 to 10 hours on the Redmi Pad 2, while I got a screen on time of about 8 to 9 hours on the Lenovo Idea Tab. Hence, 1 point is added to the Redmi Pad 2 for the battery segment. Now let's talk about the aspect because of which many of you actually watch my videos for. Let us talk about the respective stylus experience. The official stylus of the Redmi Pad 2 is the Redmi Smart Pen, and that is sold separately, whereas we get the Lenovo stylus right out of the box with the Lenovo Idea Tab. That's quite convenient, but is it really? I will just say it now. The Redmi Smart Pen is far better than the Lenovo stylus. For starters, have a look. In case you haven't seen my full video review, this is the main issue here. Lenovo stylus runs on a AAA battery, hence it's not rechargeable. So you need to keep a spare battery handy with you. Now talking about the writing experience of the two styluses, the Redmi Smart Pen simply gives us a much better writing experience. It's surprisingly good for a budget setup. The writing feel with the Lenovo stylus feels very plasticky and it's far less precise. Whereas the writing experience with the Redmi Smart Pen feels much better and also no issues with the palm rejection aspect. The default notepad app on both of them is pretty bad, so I would recommend you check out third-party note-taking apps for better writing experience. One advantage of the Lenovo Tab is that it has Nebo pre-installed on the tablet, so you won't have to buy it separately unlike on the Redmi Pad 2. Nebo offers one of the smoothest writing experience I have come across while testing out so many note-taking apps. The handwriting feels smooth and it has the best handwriting to text conversion feature. It detects my ugly handwriting perfectly and also transcribes it perfectly. The accuracy here is spot on. So this somewhat helps to mask off the writing feel on the Lenovo Idea Tab. You can download Nebo on the Redmi Pad 2 as well in order to get all the benefits. Else you can try out other premium note-taking apps like Notewise and Flexil are really good in that aspect. I previously created a video on the best note-taking apps for Android. You can check that out if you're interested in knowing more about the best note-taking apps. If you want the best stylus feel at this price, Redmi's combo even after buying the pen feels much cleaner in latency and palm rejection during everyday writing. If you want instant readiness with Nebo out of the box and don't mind the battery powered pen and even a slightly plasticky stroke, Lenovo can still work out just fine for students and light note takers. Both the styluses aren't really ideal for digital art. However, in case you wanted to do a bit of digital art as well, then the Redmi Pad 2 of course would be the best bet. One thing is for sure, both the tablets will struggle when you import heavy PDFs and long documents into them or have any notebook with a lot of pages inside them, as the CPU just isn't powerful enough in comparison to many other tablets in the market. But all in all, for the note-taking experience, the Redmi Smart Pen is much better. Hence, 1 point is added to the Redmi Pad 2 for the stylus experience. Here is a screenshot of the current price of the Redmi Pad 2 along with the Redmi Smart Pen, and also here is a screenshot of the current price of the Lenovo Idea Tab for both the variants. Now let's have a chat about their pricing. When I add up the price of the Redmi Smart Pen with the Redmi Pad 2, they both have a very similar pricing. I'm saying this because if you take a look at the pricing of the cellular variant of the Lenovo Idea Tab, it will more or less have a very similar price to that of the Redmi Pad 2 along with the Redmi Smart Pen, as the Redmi Pad 2 has 5G support by default, just that you need to make one extra purchase for the pen. So considering this aspect, both of them have the same price more or less. If you don't need the stylus, however, the Redmi Pad 2 is simply a better deal, as you can see. Hence, with all the considerations, I will have to give a point to each of the two tablets in terms of their pricing, as this is one thing they both got right with or without the stylus. Well, we actually have covered a lot. So what's the verdict? Which one is the best budget tablet of 2025? The Redmi Pad 2 or the Lenovo Idea Tab? This is the final scoreboard, and I hope this will help you make your purchase decision based on your priorities. But if you ask me, then here's is what I personally think. The Redmi Pad 2 is a better deal. It has a slightly better display, larger battery, and is more or less same in terms of performance compared to the Lenovo Idea Tab. If you're on a tight budget, however, and you want the stylus right out of the box, then of course you can get the Lenovo Idea Tab, as it will give you a similar experience in terms of performance as I previously mentioned. But when adding up the price of the Redmi Smart Pen and comparing it with the cellular variant of the Lenovo Idea Tab, too much to process, the Redmi Pad 2 provides better value in that aspect. And if you are a student and looking for a note-taking tablet, then of course get the Redmi Pad 2, as the writing experience over there is simply miles ahead, and you wouldn't have to deal with changing your stylus battery as well, thus making the Redmi Pad 2 the winner of this tablet duel. They both still lack in terms of software and UI interactions, however, so in case you wanted that fix and want a much smoother software experience, then have a look at the other options, as trust me, that issue will really build up with time. Perhaps you can check out the older siblings of the two tablets, the Xiaomi Pad 7 and the Lenovo Idea Tab Pro. If you wanna know more about them, then click here on this video, and over there we have compared the Xiaomi Pad 7 along with the Lenovo Idea Tab Pro in more details. See you there.